Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to day 3, the pre-conference workshop. Yesterday was our first full day of the conference, which was amazing. And I want to start by saying something that was pretty important to us. We know that there's people counters, there's facial recognition, there's CCTV cameras. We know they're everywhere. But we never knew exactly what it meant to us as an organization until this morning. So Access Communication are one of our sponsors, and they've done a fabulous job of setting up their people counters at the front entry point to our conference. And we never knew. Last year we thought we had around 2,100 odd delegates over the 3 days. We think we might have been miscalculating a little bit, because this morning on the people counter we counted around 2,300 and some yesterday came through the door to the conference. So it's an all-time record. I wanted to say thank you to all of you who are in the conference today, because you're making it what it is, such a great success. So thank you so much. Thank you. One of the greatest things as well that I'm blessed with in this organization is the team that I have. So we have 6 in our team, and they're working tirelessly to make this all happen. But Leah Venezuela, our director, who's handling everything, and then there's Kay, who handles our finance, and Ian, who's handling our IT and our new app that we have. So I hope everyone has our app, because if you have the app, you have everyone who's here. You can see them, you can know what they do. So that's an important thing, the app, and he's doing also the registration. Merez handles the Retail People magazine, which has been a phenomenal success for us. JC, who handles our membership, has done a phenomenal job as well, and he was here yesterday for our AGM as well. And one of the things that I wanted to say is that our organization, the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers, really succeeds with the number of members that we have. So when I took over in 2013, we had we had 542 members. And JC was telling me, and this is one member at a time, by the way. We collect one member at a time because we want to try and build a relationship with everyone. So yesterday, JC was telling me we had 1,057. So we've doubled the membership. Thanks to you, by the way. We've doubled our membership. Thank you. In the last 3-4 years. So it's been an amazing growth for us. And we look forward to many more of these, because it's a lot of fun doing this for all of us. I said yesterday, I said the day before, I'll say it again, but I treat these events actually as my events, which is great for me because I get to see all my friends again from all over the GCC and all around the world. They come, and it's great for me to see everyone, and thank you for your participation as well. What I wanted to do now is, yesterday I spent quite a long time going through all of our sponsor list. I'm going to go through it again, but a little bit quicker today because we went in depth yesterday. And all of them are going to be on the projectors that we have here. And also, they're all here behind us all day, so you can have a look at them. But thanks again to all of our sponsors for what they've done for us. Starting with the platinum sponsors, we've got Cells Lighting and AFKAR lighting equipment, and I know Alessandro's done an amazing job. Abdullah Al Othaim, Real Estate and Development Company, it's been great. Arabian Oud, it's been fabulous to see you again here, and I know that they've really enjoyed what they've seen. Tamdeen and GLA Management from Kuwait, our annual sponsor, thank you again to you. Aleph Group for our gold sponsors, and we have 10 gold sponsors. Aleph Group out of Sharjah, thank you for your support continuing. Gulf Related from Abu Dhabi, we thank you, Greg and the team, for all of your support that we've had over the years. Dalma Mall, Bhupinder and his team, thank you so much for all that you've done for us as another gold sponsor. Line Investment and Property, LLC, division of Lulu Group. It was a great, I'm going to stop here just for a second. We had a great meeting yesterday with Seifi Rupuwala, and it's great to have him here. He's a very, very senior guy in the business, and it was nice to see him. But thanks to Marcello and his team at Line Investment. ASWAC Management Services and AMS, and I know that they've been pleased with their location of their booth this year, and thanks to Guillaume and his team for their support year over year. Marina Mall, they have a great booth that I would urge everyone to go and have a look at it, because the Abu Dhabi Mall and Marina Mall is Marina Mall is a fabulous exhibition area. Marrakech, and there are friends that are from Egypt. Thank you for your support. Truly wonderful. Unified Asset and Property Management, UAPM, thank you for your gold sponsorship. It's great to have you with us again this year. Red Sea Mall, again this year, thank you again for your participation. You can see them there as well, gold sponsor. Arabian Centers, they're the largest developer in the Saudi Arabia marketplace, and it's great to have you as support gold sponsors for us again this year. Thank you. And then for silver sponsors, we'll go through them. Keenan and Gagey and his team, thank you very much for your support year over year. It's always great to have you here. Al Arami Boulevard, thank you for your silver sponsorship. Al Hokair Group, thank you very much for what you've done for us with your silver sponsorship. It's great. Retail Emotions, great to have your support as well. Thank you for your silver sponsorship. And then BTC Fashion with Matalan, Tati, and Mellow Yellow, thank you for your bronze sponsorship. It's been great to have you here again this year. Esdan Mall, thank you, Malik. Your support's always welcome. Thank you. And whatever we can do to help you, let us know. YARDI have been with us since the start, and I really thank the team at YARDI for your continual support, not only here as a bronze sponsor, but also with the Retail People magazine and our MECSC directory. It's been wonderful to have your support all the way through all of our venues. Reem Mall, Shane and his team, Shane Elstrom, thank you for your support and the stationary support as well this year. Al Romania Mall, thank you for your support this year. We want to do a lot more with you in the years coming for your bronze sponsorship. Brands International, Kamal and his team, thank you for that, and also for your other brand that's coming along, Capacita, and it's amazing to see your stand here. It's great. Thank you very much for that. JLL and the team, Andrew Williamson and Alan Robertson, thank you for your bronze sponsorship. Once again, Capacita from Kamal, thank you and your team very much for being part of this. AZDEF, so Rayan and his team, it's great. We've really enjoyed your support, not only here, but also in Jeddah, and we'll use your support again, Rayan, if you're here, coming up for our Riyadh conference that we're going to host on May the 7th. Thank you. Premier Marketing Management, thank you again for your bronze sponsorship. Great to have you with us again. Those are our 2017 sponsors. Please, everyone, join me in thanking these people who are so generous with their time and their money. One of the next things that I wanted to chat about briefly is that we have a number of people in the Saudi membership that we have always enjoyed our time with. And last year, or this year in May, we had a very successful RECON Forum. So it wasn't the scale of this event, but it was a lovely event. And what we're going to be doing on May the 7th at the Ritz Carlton Hotel in Riyadh, we're hosting another RECON Forum in Riyadh this time. And Mazen Kandil is going to be assisting us with this, as is Rayan and his team at AZDEF. And I know our team at MECSC will be reaching out to you again for your support to help us promote this event and to make it a great success. I think last year we had around 375 people, and it was a wonderful one-day event. So that's it for there. What we wanted to do now was start off with Ken Bernstein. And Ken is the chairman of the International Council of Shopping Centers. Ken is the CEO of the Arcadia Development Company. And Richard, great to see you back. You can come out on stage anytime you want and introduce Ken, if you would.
I would be delighted to. Thank you very much indeed. Wonderful
Richard, it's always great to have you back because you just picked this thing right up and move it right along.
Thanks very much
Thank you so
David.
much. By the way, we found your glasses.
I did.
You got them. Okay, so he's not blind anymore, so we're all in good shape.
Yeah, if you're a spectacle retailer or an optician, I'm afraid this is bad news for you, but it's very, very good news
Anyway,
for me.
great to have you back. So I'd like you to introduce Ken Bernstein for his presentation.
David, thanks very much
Thank you,
indeed.
and thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy the conference today.
And a quick word of thanks to you, David, for organizing this and bringing everyone together. My radio show this morning was basically given over to this conference. We had an incredible interview with Mohammed Alawi talking about the changes happening in Saudi Arabia at the moment. We got so much positive feedback on it. I'll tweet a link to it later on, but it's maybe for you guys, it's nothing you don't already know. Fascinating insights on women driving in Saudi Arabia, the rise of cosmetic sales, the new city that's being developed close to the Jordanian and Egyptian border, and of course the introduction of VAT. Just so much in there. Radio gold. So thank you all of you for inviting me to this and letting me share that with people here in Dubai. But our opening presentation this morning, it's a real pleasure to introduce someone who is the president of the International Council of Shopping Centres, also the CEO of Arcadia Realty Trust. Please join me in giving a very, very warm welcome to Kenneth Bernstein. Morning, Kenneth.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be introduced once. I had the opportunity to be introduced twice. Before I get started, I do want to congratulate all of you on having such a successful council. And David, you and your team do a great job. I have an opportunity to go to a host of these kind of meetings over time, and this is as vibrant a meeting as I have been to. So round of applause for David and his team. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to meet with you, understand your region, understand your industry, and understand retail in Dubai better. I'll tell you that it is a very exciting time to be the chairman of ICSC because our industry is going through transformation as significant as any time I have seen in my career. And let me be clear, when I say as significant, we have all seen change before. We've seen transformation before. We're going through reinvention right now, right here. But what's so fascinating to me about this time period is that we're dealing with both typical short-term or cyclical headwinds that many of our retailers are facing, and then a host of longer-term secular trends. And it's important, probably essential for us as leaders in our industry to separate the short-term trends from then these longer-term trends that are playing out. As chair of ICSC, as well as CEO of my company, I spend a fair amount of time trying to understand these trends, meeting with our retailers, meeting with our lenders, with our investors, meeting with other CEOs, other landlords, other developers. And let me share with you some of my thoughts on these trends. First, a little bit of my background. My history with ICSC began in 1990 when I left the practice of law, married my law school sweetheart, who Janet was kind enough to come on this trip with me, and joined the startup predecessor firm to what's now Arcadia Realty Trust. Some of you may recall in the early 90s, the real estate industry in the United States was hemorrhaging. It was hemorrhaging about as painfully as any time in my career. So to leave the practice of law and start a business, that was scary as heck. But we saw opportunity, and thankfully we were right. Fast forward to today, Arcadia Realty Trust is a publicly traded REIT on the New York Stock Exchange, and we operate under what I refer to as dual platform, which means we own a host of primarily open air, street, and urban retail in the key gateway cities of the United States. That means New York, DC, Boston, San Francisco. And then the other part of our dual platform is the REIT is the sole general partner of a series of investment funds, backed by Ivy League endowments, foundations, sovereign wealth. And there we have a more opportunistic buy, fix, sell mandate that brings us throughout the United States. Having the flexibility of these dual platforms has been a real benefit as we have grown our company over the last 25 years. And by being around for 25 years, it means we've been around for a while. I prefer to think of it as being cycle tested, and we've been through our fair share of cycles. Each time, people said, it's different this time. People said, this change is permanent. And yet our industry always came out on the other side. So let me share some of the observations and trends that I'm seeing both in the United States as well as globally. Start off with the headlines back home. They are scary. And the headlines may be different here, but we're a global industry, and often the perception or trend in one part of the world soon becomes perception or trend in another. And the perception today in the United States is that all retail, bricks and mortar retail, is dying or already dead. What was viewed recently as a year ago as a relatively isolated softening in a handful of properties with a handful of retailers, now it feels as if it is spreading into the entire retailing universe if you simply read the headlines. Here's the good news. This negative narrative, it's a gross oversimplification. The media, as well as the investment community, they're combining some traditional cyclical headwinds that are facing a host of our retailers. And then they're combining it with longer-term secular shifts due to technology primarily. And by combining that, they're arriving at oversimplified conclusions. They want everyone to believe that all of the weakness facing bricks and mortar retailers, all of it ties back to technology, and it doesn't. So our job is to help people understand that many of the issues today are more traditional, more cyclical, because retailing, for as long as I've been in this business, it's always been Darwinian. It's always been cyclical, no matter the region. In fact, when we were building our business, we had a host of very successful anchor retailers, A&P supermarkets, Caldor, Ames, I could go on and on. They were the dominant tenants in our portfolio, and all of them disappeared. And they disappeared before e-commerce even registered on our radar screen. They disappeared due to traditional cyclical headwinds. And what that means is some overexpanded, others borrowed too much, and others just lost their value proposition to the customer. As a result, some properties, not all, some properties became functionally obsolete. And what do? We redeveloped them. What it was not a bricks and mortar retail real estate Armageddon that you read about. My second observation, notwithstanding everything I just said about perception, there are legitimate longer-term challenges, and technology is absolutely a critical factor. In my view, it's two important ways. First of all is the continued growth of e-commerce, and then secondly is what I refer to as increased price transparency. First, in terms of e-commerce. In the United States, and from what I can tell here as well, the convenience of home delivery, the ease of selecting certain products online makes that channel, that delivery system, very compelling. E-commerce retailers and probably more importantly, their investors, they're currently much more focused on building market share than in achieving traditional profit metrics the way our traditional bricks and mortar retailers think about it. And what makes this really confusing for us is that we're forced to try to compare traditional bricks and mortar retailer operating metrics versus online retailing. And the fact of the matter is we really don't understand how to measure online retailing the way we do traditional bricks and mortar. So here's the good news. Over time, sooner or later, investors are going to demand a profit out of online retailing. Back in the United States, I remind folks constantly, there is no such thing as free shipping, much less free shopping. Yet every shopper in the United States expects their online purchase to be delivered for free. My kids, they think that free delivery is written into the US Constitution. And I remind them that UPS, FedEx, they do not ever deliver for free. It is investor-backed, and investors are sooner or later going to want to see a profit. And bricks and mortar retail is the most logical and most profitable path for them. In fact, I can guarantee you in the United States, and it will be true probably throughout the world, that the most successful online retailers are going to have strong bricks and mortar presence, and they're going to have it in the future, in the very near future, to reduce their cost per acquisition of customer, to better connect with the customer. They're going to have it to strengthen their profit margins, because this screen-to-store evolution, the reason I can guarantee this, it's playing out right now as we speak in the US. You have to look no further than Amazon's purchase of Whole Foods supermarkets. But there's a host of other examples of screens to stores, firms following the Bonobos or Warby Parker model. And then equally important, there are other retailers out there that despite all of the news that you read, despite conventional wisdom, that you gotta invest in e-commerce, they're not doing that. They're simply investing in their business. You can see that here. Take a look at some of the malls in Dubai, where people go to be entertained, where they're offering features from aquariums to flight simulators to indoor ski slopes. And the department stores, they now hold gyms, spas, clinics. All of this is the future. The malls here aren't immune to e-commerce, but they're making their physical presence their biggest asset, and that is going to be the key to success in the future. Now, my second point is the change due to increased price transparency. And by this I mean whether the consumer is shopping online or in the stores, today a shopper can price virtually any product they want, anytime, anywhere. And thus a retailer, especially a retailer who is a reseller of broadly available goods, they've got to competitively price their merchandise or they're going to lose market share. When there were fewer channels, when there were fewer competitors, this was less of an issue. But going forward, successful retailers, they're going to need to use their stores and use them as critical channels to further clarify their value proposition to the customer. This is going to include improved pricing clarity, because Today that doesn't exist, but it's also going to mean improved use of data, energized, informed sales staff. Expect to see continued increased use of private label by retailers. And watch carefully as club affiliations grow. Back in the United States, Costco, Amazon Prime, those are probably the two most common memberships. But expect to see other retailers embrace that model. Also, keep your eye on last mile logistics over the next 1, 3, 5 years. Because retailers, they're at the very, very early stages of trying to figure this out. I spent a lot of time with them, and they don't know yet. But the last mile will be critical. Also, watch the sharing economy. Right now, Uber, Airbnb, they're early movers in this, but its impact to bricks and mortar, and bricks and mortar retail especially, could be very significant. Also, watch the brands themselves as they continue to recognize the importance, the necessity of having traditional stores to enhance their relationship with their customer, to differentiate themselves further. Best example of this, in my view, is Apple. They do their stores incredibly well. But there will be others that are following in that path as well. Now, I recognize there are similarities and there's differences with what is going on in the US versus in other regions, especially here where things are so vibrant and exciting. But I caution you, any region could face this crisis of perception. And every region is going to face the challenges of change. That's why reinvention is so critical. Navigating around these issues is going to be critical for all of us, so let's keep a few things in perspective. First of all, as e-commerce continues to grow, I understand it's less than 2% here, but as it continues to grow, notwithstanding what you read, the vast majority of retail spending will always be at physical bricks and mortar properties. Doesn't mean that e-commerce doesn't exist. Doesn't mean that we put our heads in the sand as it relates to online shopping or any of the other changes that I've been discussing. We need to understand these changes, and then we need to make sure that we're reacting appropriately, but not overreacting. That's why organizations like ICSC or the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers, that's why they're more relevant, in my view, today, more important than ever. Because it's through organizations like this one that we can focus on the media to make sure they're not just writing tired platitudes about the retail apocalypse, but trying to get them to understand better and start writing and focusing of the excitement of bricks and mortar retail and the importance of this retail real estate to our communities and to our economies. It's through organizations like this that we can focus on the sharing of ideas and best practices. In conferences like this one, conferences around the world, because by bringing all of us together, by having the ability to compare what's working in Asia, what's working in the Middle East, what's working in the United States, what's working in Europe, by having the ability to share these ideas and learn from each other, to learn from our challenges and our successes, that's how we survive. That's how we thrive. Let's also keep something else in mind. This reinvention, this transformation of retail real estate, it's going to be done with the properties we own. It's going to be done with the people in this room, in this conference, in our industry. So, thank you all for participating in this event and being part of such an exciting, vibrant industry. The road ahead is a very exciting one, so let's all enjoy the journey together. Thank you very much.